Hi ho ho, it's me, Johnny Clay, back at it again with a new episode of the Boy Time Podcast, and as always, I'm joined by Babby and Paul.
Hello.
Yeah, we took a week off. I was sick. I was sick as a dog, as they say, which I don't
Or
know
so
if
he
I
says.
don't know if dogs are
Do
known
dogs
for
get-
being sick,
Yeah, I don't know.
but I
Oh,
think
yeah,
that's
dogs
a
get
phrase.
sick.
It's like sick like a horse, where they just have to go out back and shoot you.
Well, nobody did that.
Yeah.
Do they do that if horses get sick? I thought it was just if like they
I think
break
if they
their leg.
break a leg or something, I don't know.
Like, oh no, the horse
I'm
got
not
a
a horse person.
flu. You gotta go out back and blow
Horse
its
flu.
brains out.
They don't make Tylenol for horses.
They don't. They should.
They should.
Be big pills.
They
Big
make
horses.
ivermectin for horses.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot what
That's a
that
good point.
does.
It heals all.
Oh, that's
It's-
true.
It's horse dewormer. I remember
Oh,
is what
that's
it was
it.
called.
Okay, so if they get worms, you don't blow their brains out. You just give them
You just
the cure to
give them
COVID.
ivermectin. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Crazy how that works.
This is a great start to our entertainment podcast. Is talking about
I'm
horses.
entertained.
I just wanted to get out in front of the horse and say that
Ah,
might be why I sound a little different because I'm still kind of feeling it. It's weird. I was sick for like a couple days and then like I woke up on like the third or fourth day and I was like completely fine. But now it's just kind of like lingered where like all of my.
You sure it's not COVID? Because that's what happened to me.
I don't
That's
think so.
literally long COVID.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought, but like I didn't. I took a COVID test and it came negative, so
Oh.
I don't know. I think it's just a cold.
False negative. I don't know.
Experienced.
It could
There's
be.
those tests that you can do that if you ever had COVID, it'll tell you. Maybe give one of those a try.
That's crazy.
Oh well, yeah. I have had COVID before, so I'm not sure.
Oh, well, it probably wouldn't do very well then.
No, and then I would
It
tell me
would
what I
say-
already knew.
Yeah.
Said I already had it. I got it last December, so I would. I don't know. I guess I'm probably due to get it again. I don't remember how long they say you can get it in between. In between times you get it, and how long it takes. But
So haven't had it once, gang. Let's go.
Let's go.
well, you've also
Have you
been
had it, babe?
inside.
You're probably the person that shouldn't get it.
Well, that's true.
Well, to be fair, the many health issues I have, COVID most likely
Respiratory is
wouldn't
not
do
an
anything.
issue. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's yeah. So, we took a week off. A lot has happened, I would say, in terms of entertainment stuff. I think most
Probably.
notably, as of today, as of we're recording, the WGA strike is about to end.
Possibly.
Possibly.
See,
It looks like that they're reaching a tentative agreement. I don't know if the details have been released. I have not seen anything.
Not yet. It's like really fresh right now. We probably won't hear for a couple of days.
Yeah.
fresh news.
So maybe. But that's good. Finally, I'll have something else to watch besides the Drew Barrymore show. And it'll be great, Or, the Squid Game reality TV show is
Yes,
coming up.
yeah.
I'm so excited.
Squid Game.
I love the Squid Games. I don't know if my friend got any screen time because
Did he actually get in it?
he was in it. Yes,
Okay.
they flew him out to the UK, and he was he showed up a couple days and then he left because I think infamously the production of that show was pretty grueling. There was not very good working
I'd
conditions.
imagine so. It's Squid Games.
Well, yeah, but I think like behind the scenes, it was
yeah.
like rough for people. And I think like when that show was being filmed, like I remember seeing stuff that like people were passing out.
Awesome.
Yeah, not great.
Just have to
So
like scan it and watch it and be like, oh, do the funny Leonardo DiCaprio.
that's him.
That's him.
I don't know if he was in it. I don't know to the extent that he was because he left, and I doubt they pull that into the narrative where it's like we did not have great living conditions on set, and so a bunch of people left. So that decreases the number of people that are in the Squid Game thing.
Squid Game.
So I don't know. Maybe I might watch like the first couple episodes or something, see if I can spot him. But yeah, I don't remember when that's coming out. But yeah,
I
there's
think they just released a trailer for it this week.
yeah. I know there was like a release date. I think it's sometime in October, but I don't remember when because I didn't write it down because I frankly didn't think we were going to talk about it. But
Here we are.
We did it. So yeah, we got that WGA thing. It's coming up. I don't know if they're okay. So we got that, and then I also saw that. What is the frickin' actors one? It's like
SAG-AFTRA.
SAG-AFTRA. Yeah, I saw that over 90% of SAG-AFTRA voted to strike video games for video game voice actors, and I guess video game just like regular actors too, with the amount of like mocap and stuff that's going on. I also saw that, so potentially, if they don't reach an agreement with whatever the collection of video game studios are coming together to make this agreement, then we might be having a strike there too. So,
There's also VFX artists that
yep. VFX artists that work for Disney. Are they trying to unionize? Is that it?
No, they're unionized. They're trying to strike.
Okay. I remember there was something that was, I think maybe it was like specifically like Marvel VFX
the Marvel,
people. They were specifically just started the process, I think, of starting to unionize.
Yeah, that might be a little bit, but
yeah, makes sense. I mean, the more I see more people that come out about the post-production of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, the more I realize how bad it is. Like, I knew it was bad, but like, I think it was that one particular that was like, whoa. Like, I've never seen.
That's one of those
crunch
things.
like
Those
that.
things where you can actually tell in the quality of the things. Because
Yeah.
Marvel movie like VFX lately have been pretty awful.
Yes. Definitely post Endgame.
Yeah. And it's no fault to the creators. It's like these insane timelines.
Yeah, because they have to have like 2 or 3 movies out a year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think, a lot of the like VFX studios in Hollywood, they're like, I know Disney does some shady stuff with like blackballing VFX artists or like companies that like leave because of the working conditions. They like make sure that they don't get any work from the other big studios because they're like, well, they didn't work for us, they're not going to work for you. So yeah, it's a big thing and it's all gross. So there's been a lot of like that kind of stuff happening over the last 2 weeks.
I had all of that planned, but we're talking about it now.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry, I didn't
have too much to say.
Okay, I didn't really have anything either. I was trying to go over what happened this week.
Yes. There's also a UAW strike currently.
UAW,
which is not entertainment at all, but it is still a pretty big strike. That's United Auto Workers.
Oh, okay.
The vroom vroom.
This is GM, Ford, and Stellantis. I actually know a lot about this one for some reason, but
the big three is the first time it's ever been a strike like against all the big three.
And it's not all of the production or like warehouses. It was like Michigan,
it's
Indiana.
Like 3 of them right now, but they have this really cool tactic where they're randomly striking locations without any like prior notice. So this makes it where you can have bigger longevity, so you're not pulling all your cards right away. And it keeps everybody on their toes because like the bosses never know like when a strike could happen at their location.
Yeah, I remember reading that they were planning, I think they probably would have already by now, this is like a week ago, but they're saying, we're going to expand with Stellantis and GM, but I guess not with Ford because they thought they were getting somewhere with Ford.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I don't know too much about like the current details, but
I
just the
barely do
setup of
either,
it.
but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big one.
Hmm.
I know Joe Brandon showed up at a picket line,
Let's go.
Joe
which is
Brandon.
cool, I guess. I don't really care. I mean, it's a big thing for publicity, so it's
Mm.
cool
Sure.
that he's there, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
he's not pro union. This is a campaign stunt, but
Oh
it's good to
yeah.
get eyes on it at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty good. UAW is like famously a very corrupt union, but they kind of turned it around in the last couple of years. And their union leader now is like awesome. Like
Yeah.
he's speaking in class dynamics. He's quoted Malcolm X like 3 times already.
Ooh, like that.
It's a very militant kind of setup right now, and they're definitely taking the stance of like, class and like broader working class relations, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's
You
what
don't
you like
really
to see.
see that. Yeah. So a lot of cool stuff happening. But yeah, I
Nice.
mean, a lot of this stuff is kind of similar to the UPS stuff where like a lot of people get hired on as temps, and then never get hired on full time, like even after working there for like 4 years,
Sure.
which means you basically get zero benefits or any security with it.
Mhm.
So kind of the same thing with the UPS thing, but yeah, these auto companies are demons. So I'm glad they seem to have a good course of action. They tried it in 2019 and it did not go well because they didn't really have a plan. And then a big auto union just cut my mic.
Oh no.
Um, I don't know where I left off.
It was 1 minute ago.
Awesome. I didn't even know where I went. That was awesome. But yeah, still very, very big strike. This is good. Hopefully it lasts a long time with this kind of way that they have it set up. I'm glad they have a course of action.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's it for all union stuff. That was my like little segment thing this week, so we got ahead of it
Oh,
right away,
frick.
which is good.
Okay.
That's
Well.
better because like I can do this more coherently instead of me being really tired.
Sure. Sure.
But yeah, very good.
Yes.
Very
It's
good.
what you like to see. Yeah. So I think in terms of like that, it's been pretty good. And then there's been a lot of interesting news in terms of not related to strikes or unions or anything. In terms of entertainment news, we'll kind of do a little bit of a rundown. I think the big thing that has a lot of people raising their eyebrows, and I want to bring this up because I think we celebrated when another actor did this. Well, not celebrated, but it weren't as mad. But Robert De Niro, maybe one of the best, or at least one of the most iconic actors of all time, has decided to reprise his role from Taxi Driver in an Uber ad.
Oh no.
Yes, so I think it's been 50 years since that movie came out, and I guess Uber wants to strike that iron. I don't, yeah, everybody's always talking about Taxi Driver, it's the
Yeah.
most popular movie ever. And yeah, it's a lot of people have been pretty upset about this, because why? I don't think Robert De Niro needs the money. He is still in every single Scorsese movie, or at least most of them. It got so bad that the writer of Taxi Driver, Paul Schrader, was asked about it, and he said, "Why Bob would do this is beyond my reckoning, but I haven't seen it. If I'm lucky, I never will." So
Correct response, I suppose.
that is the correct response. So yeah, I don't know when this ad is supposed to come out, like what it's playing
It's
in front
probably a
of.
Super Bowl ad
Probably.
since we are getting like it'd be the time where they start doing their production for stuff like that.
Yeah. I don't know. Is there a basketball? Is that happening?
They don't. No, that's gonna be after the Super Bowl, and the commercials usually aren't anything crazy for that.
Yeah. Except when like Kanye does like the Donda thing for, basketball.
For basketball. I don't think Kanye's getting any player on there anytime
Well,
soon.
no, no, probably not.
But who knows? The way people have been acting lately, I wouldn't be surprised.
True. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what has happened in like the last couple of months in terms
Yeah.
of the Kanye redemptionism.
Yeah, people tend to forget about things. It's the same as the Travis Scott thing.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
then I'm the guy that can't get over it when I bring it up. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, like, no, I feel like that's fair. I mean,
yeah.
especially the Kanye thing. Like, that is,
Yeah, that's pretty
that's it.
irredeemable.
Yeah, it's pretty unforgivable. I do think it's kind of funny now that, like, remember when all that was coming out and he was like, I'm no longer anti Semitic. I watched, was it 21 Jump Street? He's like,
Yeah.
Jonah Hill saved me because he's a funny Jewish
That's a
guy.
good post. That's a good post. I
It's a
like
good
that.
post, but now it's like, now Jonah Hill is a little bit like a little questionable. So it's like, oh no, what is all this? It's all tied together. But yeah, yeah. So I guess that's that about the Robert De Niro thing. Hopefully, I also will not ever see it. I don't want to see an old Travis Bickle, which I think is the guy's name. I think his last name is
I hope
Bickle,
so.
which ma-
Pickle's awesome.
which makes sense as to why he's a little messed up,
A little kooky.
a little kooky, willing to shoot up a bunch of people.
Pickle sounds like a really like rich dude like Zuckerberg, or just like the kookiest cat ever. Like you can't be a normal person and have Bickle as your last name.
That's true. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, it is Travis Bickle.
Travis Bickle,
Just
the,
had to
the
double check.
the second removed cousin of Travis Barker.
It's true. I had to make sure it wasn't a Frank Ziti situation, or like I know,
Frank Z.
and it's just like, oh, his name is like Travis Baxter. It's like, where did I get like Travis Bickle? Okay, well at least I was right on this one. But yeah, in terms of other entertainment news, I'll save probably the sadder one for the end. In terms of exciting stuff, we got Joe Pera's stand-up special is releasing October 6th. So next week. It's called Slow and Steady. Of course it is. I don't know what it's going to be released on. I would imagine probably on his YouTube thing, unless he got like a Netflix or
Is his show on Netflix?
his show was on Adult Swim. So
Uh-huh.
maybe it's going to be on Max. I don't
I thought
know.
I watched it on something. I just don't remember what.
The I don't know. I don't know. I know his show is on Max, which does include the like Joe Pera talks you to sleep
Yeah,
in the
that one.
first season.
Yeah.
So that is on Max. So maybe this is going to be on there too. I don't know. But also, Adult Swim canceled his show. So I don't know if they have like the best relationship right now. I don't know. But please bring back the Joe Pera show. It's great. And please watch it. I would say, especially like, I know there's the very small subset of people that like watch like exclusively old TV shows. My girlfriend is one of them, not exclusively, but like she'll watch like I Love Lucy or like stuff like that because she's like it's just so like slow and like it's not like super high intensity and it just kind of feels like everything these days is kind of like that. So it's nice to kind of slow down. The Joe Pera show is perfect. It's something that's coming out these days that you're going to be able to relate to, but there's not a lot of conflict, and it's just kind of great. A lot of like good character dynamic stuff. So I would highly recommend it, even though it does end very abruptly on the third season. But that's my plug. But also, in terms of good news, my favorite movie of last year is being added to the Criterion collection. That is Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. It's coming to Criterion in December. And in classic Criterion fashion, it has probably the coolest poster I have ever seen as the cover art for it. I think it was like a fan-made poster. I remember seeing it around when the movie came out, and it was just like someone posted it as fan art, and I guess Criterion, hopefully they contacted and paid the artist and didn't just steal it. But I feel like Criterion wouldn't just steal art like that.
I feel like you can't do that if you're doing a whole print run.
Yeah,
It'd be
probably not.
impossible.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. I saw Patrick McHale was kind of geeking out about it. It is cool that something that he worked on is in Criterion. I do kind of wish that Over the Garden Wall got like not necessarily a Criterion release, just because it is technically a TV show, but like a really good like box set, because I don't feel like I've seen
They got
that.
cassettes.
They do have it on VHS, which is cool, and I do kind of want to get that. I feel like that's going to be like the most cozy thing is
True.
playing it on VHS. There's something about your VHSs is it's not great for like high intensity action movies, but for like you want to play like Mrs. Doubtfire on VHS, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Which it's getting that time. It's about to be Over the Garden Wall season.
Oh yeah. We actually watched the first 2 episodes. We went a little early.
It went a little early.
We're trying to take it slow this time though. Last time we watched it all in a day.
No, that's how you got to do it. That's how I always do it.
It is, but like, yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's over, and I'm like, dang it.
That's true. That's true. If you want to relish it, you kind of have to spread it out. I think I told my girlfriend, I'm like, we're going to do it after we get back from Albuquerque, which is in a couple weeks. I'm like, I don't want to watch it before because it's going to be early October. It's going to be like upper 70s. I think I saw the end of this week is going to be in like the upper 80s, at least here. It's like, I don't want to watch Over the Garden Wall when it's 90 degrees outside. It's got to be fall weather. So I think by the time we get back from Albuquerque, it's going to be perfect timing. So I'm getting excited, though. I've been letting that record spin.
And before it's like 90s until early December because global warming.
That's true.
Yeah, winter's very delayed now, so it's kind of hard to tell when
Yeah,
it happens.
because I don't think it's even. Actually, I think it snowed like late November last year. I think that was
Yeah, last
actually
couple of
kind of
years.
early for the last few years.
Last couple of years, it's been like January and February are the bad ones, and then they're like really, really bad, and then it's nothing.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
true.
Like February and January are like nightmare territory.
Yeah, like ice storm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be pretty rough on the open road while it is cold outside.
Yeah.
I did
Yes.
go buy some like thermal pants. I went home this last weekend. Got some thermal pants, so I'm all
Thermal
set
pant.
up for when the snow comes rolling in. But yeah, it's gonna be good stuff. I probably will get this Pinocchio when it comes out in Criterion because I love that movie so much. So there's that. And then we're going to get into a little bit, I don't know if it's sad. It's just kind of questionable. Well, not questionable. It's just kind of hard to gauge how I feel about this right now. But it was announced that Studio Ghibli has been sold to Nippon TV after the studio was not able to find a suitable successor to Hayao Miyazaki. So, yeah, it was sold to, I think this is an
the
anime
last
studio. Wait, what was that?
This is the last straw.
It's the last straw. I don't know.
This is what they've taken from you.
Basically, yeah, I feel like it's kind of making this new Miyazaki movie. I think he said that it's not going to be his last movie, but if it was, like, this might not be like just the last Miyazaki movie. It might be the last Studio Ghibli movie, at least how we know them right now. It's probably going to change. I saw that their new owners, they're tossing around the idea of Studio Ghibli making TV shows, making anime. I don't
Red
like it.
flag.
I don't like it. Truth be told, I don't know a whole lot about Nippon TV. I don't know much about anime in general, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but I've seen people like get excited. Like when I saw that that was announced that they're thinking about making them have TV shows, like people were in the comments like, "Yes, I'm here for it. I'm so excited." And it's like, I don't know. Like,
People don't care about quality; they just want stuff.
yeah, I mean, I think the idea is like if you don't know the background of it, where it's
Yeah,
like, maybe Miyazaki's on board. This was like 10 years ago, and they're making like an original TV show for like maybe a limited series, kind of 20, 30 episode anime, kind of like Bebop or something. That would be
it'll
like,
spiral out of control though.
oh, yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is
Yeah,
before they got bought out, and you hear that idea of like an anime series created by Ghibli. Like, that's a no brainer. It's going to be fantastic. Now it's like, okay, I don't know. I'm a little bit worried. Like, I think, I don't know if Miyazaki's influence is still going to be there. I think that is the most crucial thing in every single Ghibli movie I have seen, is that there is that influence, and he's like one of the few like I have seen in like anime production to be like an auteur, where it's like everything that he touches feels distinct, like it is that is definitely a Miyazaki like movie. So I'm not sure how it's going to work going forward. I think most recently they've released a few movies. Ghibli has, I think the most recent Ghibli movie is like a 3D anime thing, which was not received very well. So if that's the direction they're going, I'm not sure. But I think that one specifically, the 3D anime they did, was directed by Miyazaki's son, who I have heard does not really like movies and does not like making movies. He's just kind of like was forced into it because his dad is Miyazaki. So I'm not sure. But we'll see what goes on with this as it unfolds. I'm just a little bit weary, naturally, just because I am such a big fan of Studio Ghibli's work, and that managed to stay independent this whole time for 30, 40 years at this point is impressive. It's just a little bit sad to see one of the indie studios go down into a big conglomerate. Because, yeah. But that's it. That is it for entertainment news, I
I
think.
have news.
Oh, you have news. Okay,
I
let's
have
get into it.
news. We've gotten the ultimate podcast timing.
Oh.
Oh,
Counter-Strike 2 launches tomorrow.
Oh.
perfect.
I think the full release comes out tomorrow. In typical Valve fashion, they didn't say what; they just said tomorrow. So, as of recording, that would be 9/27. So, it could be an open beta or it could be the full release. I think things are looking towards a full release more so than an open beta. So, we don't know how it's going to work. If it's going to be a completely different game or if it's a update to CS:GO that'll like get rid of it and turn it into CS2. I don't know. Don't know what they have planned. Valve is very secretive, and people dig in the game files and the update files, and Valve intentionally messes with them, so nobody knows anything. But we do know that it's coming out tomorrow. So, yeah, I'll have updates on that next week.
Oh, perfect.
Should be a good time. I don't know. They've done a really good job at like constantly doing updates. The game feels like a lot better than it did when I got in the beta like 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. So, but we'll see. But yeah, and Payday 3 came out.
I saw that.
forgot
I've
about
not heard
that.
anything about it.
They've heard horrible.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
the servers are awful right now,
Oh.
and you can't even play it solo without the server disconnecting.
Oh, why do they
That's
do that?
pretty much the only thing I've heard about it. I think they did that for Payday 2 as well. I don't know why they insist on like having it online only for the whole game, but I don't know.
I think I saw something about they're already going, okay, yeah, we're gonna possibly throw in a single player mode.
Yeah, they
Because it
should
went
do
that bad.
Wow.
They should do that. But from what I've seen, it kind of looks like a reskin of Payday 2.
It took them like 10 years.
Yeah, and this is different from CS:GO going to CS2. If you've played CS2, it's completely different. Different enough where people get angry because people don't like change, and
Yeah.
it's hard to go through all of this, and people constantly whine about every little thing, and then they'll end up loving it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Payday 3 seems like a reskin, but you can play it on Game Pass for free, so there's no harm, no foul for me.
Oh, there you go. There's that at least.
Yes. That's the savior. Xbox Game Pass is like the only big conglomerate buying every rights to everything that I enjoy because it's $10 a month and I have no consequences if the game is garbage.
That's right.
Isn't it like 12 a month now or something? Didn't they raise it? I mean,
Whatever.
it's still like nothing.
It's
but
still nothing for all the stuff you get, but
Yeah. They should be paying cable prices.
they should not. I have to pay $60 a month and I'm not doing it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Then your value goes down.
Yeah, especially since like I feel like a lot of the games on Game Pass I like try out and then never really
Yeah,
play
exactly.
all the way through.
yeah, for sure.
I think that's all the entertainment news besides my music stuff, but that'll come later. in
That'll
the
come
podcast.
later. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. I think the most, I'm really looking forward to the new Spider-Man game. It's
Oh, yeah,
coming
I
out
forgot
on the
that's
20th of October. Still not a fan of the new Peter Parker head. I don't know why they did that. I saw that the Peter Parker voice actor guy has been, I should know his name. It's Yuri something. He came out and was like, I'm actually for them changing the Peter Parker head. I'm like, why would you say that? Because it looks
pay me.
They pay me. Well, yeah, that's true. He said something about that they needed to change the face to make like the model rig better and facial animations. But I think that's a lie because you can make a better model and keep the same like face shape. It would be less suspect if they didn't make him look exactly like Tom Holland. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yucky. But I'm looking forward to it. I've been kind of trying to keep as much stuff like, just trying to keep away from it. 'Cause I want most of it to be a secret surprise. I already pre-ordered it at my local game store because I want to support them. And I didn't know I could do that, so do that. I was a Best Buy guy for a while, but now I think I'm gonna start pre-ordering from this local store because I like supporting them more.
I'm just not going to pre-order anything.
Yeah, that's
I've
my
been hurt
thing
too
on
many
it.
times.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I was just, I don't even.
Spider-Man 2, it's going to be good.
It's gonna be good. I trust Insomniac at this point. Even like the lesser one, the Miles Morales one, I still liked quite a bit. And that one was like half of the first game in terms of content. So, yeah, it was just kind of cool because it was New York at Christmas time, and that's just fun. So, that is it in terms of entertainment news. I don't think there's anything else. So this week last week before I got sick, I hadn't seen any movies. And then in between when I got sick and now I've seen 7 movies, and I'm not going to talk about all of them individually. What I did was I kind of grouped them according to directors. So I watched. Originally, I was going to be like, hey, I'll do 3 movies from 3 directors, and they're all going to be kind of like their lesser known ones. So I picked Mel Brooks, I picked Martin Scorsese, and I picked Stanley Kubrick. And I was like, okay, this will be fun. So the first one I watched was Young Frankenstein, which is maybe Mel Brooks' first like classic movie from the '70s, as like Gene Wilder in it. I don't know if this was the first of their collaborations, but I know they did a couple movies together. Obviously, a parody of old Universal monster movies, which is it's fantastic. The whole thing's in black and white. It's shot really well, which I feel like Mel Brooks movies generally aren't known for being. But yeah, it's of note. We'll get into that a little bit more. So in terms of Mel Brooks movies, I watch Young Frankenstein, and then I watch Spaceballs with my girlfriend. She had not seen it before, and I'm like, well, okay, we got to start with Spaceballs because I feel like that one's pretty accessible, and you don't necessarily have to see the movie that it's spoofing. Obviously, it's mostly Star Wars. There's some Star Trek in it. There's some Alien in it. But the things that it's referencing are so in the pop culture ethos that like you don't necessarily have to see Star Wars or Star Trek or Alien to get the references, because it's like everybody knows like Beam Me Up Scotty, or like the alien comes through the chest, or use the force. It's like all that stuff is just like you don't even have to see the movies to get it. So I'm like, this is pretty good. Like watching like Young Frankenstein, or even like Robin Hood Men in Tights, where it's like that one is so much a parody of those old 50s and like 40s and 50s Robin Hood movies, while like inserting some weird 90s humor in it. It's not very good, but yeah, so I'm like, we'll start with this one. Funnily enough, she thought that I can't believe she said this. She was like, this seems like comedy for people who think they're smarter than everyone else.
I love
Like, you're
that.
talking about Spaceballs. Like, it's the goofiest movie. Like, I don't know. It's just like, you know, I can't think of, like,
I
everyone's
can
like,
see as like nowadays it could be seen as Reddit humor, but it's a
Yeah.
good movie.
It's a good movie, and I feel like a lot of the humor still holds up. There's
Yeah, a lot of it
obviously
Yeah.
there's some like I don't know. I don't know how to feel about the comb the desert thing. It's funny, but like it is weird that like there's like two white people. There's like two groups of white people, and they have like normal kind of combs, and then there's two black people pushing like a Jerry curl, and then like I get it, It just makes me feel a little weird these days. Like that
I think it's
definitely,
good.
it's funny. It's funny.
It's a good bit.
It's funny. And also like I had to like you know explain to my girlfriend a couple times. Well, not explain, but like bring up the fact that Mel Brooks is Jewish like a couple times because of how many like Jewish jokes there are in the in the movie. Because like was it Princess Vespa? She's like from Druidia, so she's a Druish princess, and there's a lot of like jokes with that. And I could tell that she was getting uncomfortable, and I'm like, Mel Brooks, he's Jewish. It's okay. He can make these jokes.
I feel like Jewish people go so hard on Jewish jokes all the time.
Yeah, I have noticed that. I don't know why that is, but I think it's fun. I like when we can kind of poke fun at ourselves a little bit.
That's sometimes best type of humor.
I think so.
Make fun of yourselves. Just be
Yeah.
light about it.
Or I guess when it comes to Jewish jokes, it's more like making fun of how other people view you, or the stereotypes of your like ethnic group. I don't know. There's so many like weird dynamics in terms of like the Jewish culture, just because they've like been oppressed for thousands of years. It's like
They just
there's
make
a
fun of it all the time.
yeah, there's such a unique kind of dynamic to it that is different from other like minority groups. Very interesting. If I was an anthropologist, I would write a whole thesis about it. But yeah, I was gonna say I reviewed all Jewish directors, but I don't know. Well, Scorsese definitely isn't, and I don't know if Kubrick is, but yeah, wait, yes, he is. I know that he is because I did some digging on his funeral. Well, not
Yes, you do.
literally. I was not one of the
You
grave
dug him
diggers. I exhumed the body just to.
Yes.
I wasn't. That's how I got sick. Actually, I was.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I was rooting
Something you do.
around with Kubrick's corpse. Got a little sick. But yeah, so the two Scorsese movies I did were Shutter Island and Casino, and then the Kubrick twofer I did his last movie and his first movie. So his last movie is Eyes Wide Shut, 1999, and The Killing in 1956.
Okay.
Yeah, a long career, this guy. And I
The
do,
goat.
yeah, arguably, I would say. And I do kind of want to get out in front of this. This is not technically the first movie that he has worked on, but this is his first like writer director credit. Is The Killing in 1956. It sounds way edgier than it is. It's a film noir movie about a heist. It is like the least Kubrick thing ever. Which I guess we'll start with Kubrick, just because I feel like he might be the most interesting one here. He's definitely the one that has earned his place in terms of like one of the best directors of all time. I mean, like right out of the gate, this movie is like maybe one of the best noir movies I've ever seen. And it's kind of interesting because it's so nothing like anything he did after this. Like he did a couple of these kind of noir detective type movies, and then he made Lolita, and then Doctor Strangelove, and then 2001, and then just like from there, like exponential weirdo experimental stuff going on. I guess we'll talk about The Killing first, just because it's his first movie. Yeah, it's a heist movie where it's this guy named Johnny Clay, and he is putting together a heist to rob like a racetrack, a horse racetrack. And it's one of those. It's kind of like an Ocean's movie or something, where it's a heist movie, and then like the first like hour of it is all just like the setup, and it's this guy going around and he's recruiting all these people, making all these promises, and then we see the heist play out, and then it's like we see it from like a bunch of different angles, and like it kind of jumps around in time, so we kind of see all of these people doing their part all at once, but like, we need to back up a little bit so we can see when they got to the racetrack, and how they got into the racetrack, and all this sorts of things. I don't want to give too much away, just because it's a noir movie, and a lot of the enjoyment of it is actually watching it, not so much the or like the experience of watching it, not so much the specific details. So but yeah, I feel like it definitely holds up. I think it does kind of, if this was like made by some Joe Schmo, I feel like everybody would remember this movie, but because it was made by Kubrick, it kind of gets forgotten, which is a shame because it's really good. So I would recommend it. I think everybody should go see it, especially if you're new to like the noir genre. I feel like this is a pretty good place to start. It's pretty straightforward. It's not super complicated, and there's not like an overarching mystery or anything. It's just a heist movie, but it is kind of interesting because it has like the noir style narration, but it isn't like a cool detective voice. It's like the commercial guy voice. He's like, "Oh, It is 11:30 p.m. and Johnny is arriving at this person's house. Get oxyperoxide for all of your house
Progressive
cleaning needs.
insurance.
Yeah. We're like, you know, like the 50s style,
Oh yeah.
the kind of transatlantic.
Smoke cigarettes.
Marlboro, the only cigarettes that doctors recommend. It's like that style of voice, which doesn't really fit, but, you know, it's fine. But yeah, that is The Killing. Eyes Wide Shut, I did not like really at all. It was his last movie. It actually came out after he died. He did 100% of it. It was like, you know, the film was locked. He actually died the day after the first screening. There was like the friends and family of like the cast and crew.
David Bowie situation.
Yeah, yeah. We're like, yeah, it was all done. And then like he finished it. He had like this big day where they watched the movie together, which I can't imagine watching this movie with my family. We'll get into that. If you know anything about this movie, you know it's about an orgy. So I don't know why it's like, oh, honey, let's all get together and watch this extremely horny movie together. But you know, that was his last day, is that everybody that he knew got together, watched this movie, and then he went home. I think he died in his sleep. And this was like a couple months before the movie came out. So this is his last movie. I think technically, you know, he has some writing credits on that Steven Spielberg movie AI. I think it was actually uncredited because it was one of those things. I think he bought the rights to it for the majority of Kubrick's career. He was adapting either short stories or like long form novels. Yeah, I think the majority of his movies are adaptations, which is a credit to adaptations for sure. So he bought the rights to this AI book in the like 70s or 80s. And then he just kind of sat on it because he's like, the technology to make this movie has not caught up to my vision of it. So he just kind of sat on it for a really, really long time. And then when he died, I think he may have like kind of said, I want Spielberg to take it. So that's why that movie exists. Probably should have waited a little longer because it was made in like the early 2000s, and we all know how early 2000s CGI looked. So
It looks awesome.
looks awesome. I love The Rock and Scorpion.
Mummy too.
Yeah. But yeah, I think just getting into Eyes Wide Shut, it is the story of Tom Cruise, which I'm gonna get out in front of the gun right now. I don't like Tom Cruise at all. I don't think he's a very
What a hot take.
well, yeah. I just don't think he's a very
He's a
good
weird
actor.
guy. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a weird guy, so maybe that's part of it too. But like, he
Is he
is.
the one that said that 9/11 wouldn't have happened if he was on the plane?
I have
think that
no
was Tom
idea.
Cruise.
It might be. He's so weird. I know, like, I think he said that well, this is getting into the Scientology thing, but I think
Oh,
he
yeah, that
said
too.
that like the I don't even know what you call the leader of the Church of Scientology, but that person cured his
L. Ron
dyslexia.
Hubbard.
Well, not L. Ron Hubbard. It was whoever took took over after him, like cured him of his dyslexia. Which
That's awesome.
I don't know how you become an actor when
No, yeah, I don't
you're
know.
dyslexic, because like so much of your job is reading scripts and memorizing lines. Which I guess you could have someone record it and then, but I
He
don't
does his
know.
own stunts at least.
He does do his own stunts. I'll give him credit for like, he tends to like really pick scripts that emphasize practical effects, and he seems to genuinely care about like preserving the like theater experience, which I think is cool. But I really don't like him. He always plays like the same character. He's always kind of like somewhat charming, but like I don't know. There's not a lot of soul in those eyes. And you know, maybe I just haven't seen the right movies with him in it, but like I'm not a big Tom Cruise guy. And this movie did not really do anything to convince me otherwise. Yeah, so this movie, it stars Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, and they play a married couple in New York City. And basically, Tom Cruise is like sexually frustrated. He like Nicole Kidman like never cheats on him, but like kind of like says, "Yeah, I really wanted to like bang this guy. We went to this party and we talked for a while and we didn't end up doing anything, but I really wanted to." Which, first of all, why would you say that to your husband? And second of all, why is Tom Cruise like, "Yeah, that's really awesome. I'm gonna go hook up with a prostitute now because I can't stop thinking of the thought of you." Like he's so jealous that his wife was like, "I want to have sex with another man, but I didn't do it." I mean, he's like, I can't take this anymore. She's so unfaithful. I'm going to have sex with someone else now." And just the whole movie, he's trying to get his little rocks off by pretty much any means he can. He like goes to a prostitute, but every time right before it happens, he's like, "Oh, actually, I'm busy. I need to go now. I'm not actually gonna do anything."
Sigma grind set.
It's Sigma grind set. He is just constantly like, you know, so close to I guess getting the object of his desire, which is lady. Which
lady.
we need to talk about the nudity of this movie because I have never seen so many pairs of tits in my life in a movie or otherwise, frankly.
But do they hang dong?
They don't. That
Dang
was
it.
specifically what I was going to bring up. There is so much female nudity in this movie, but not
Disgraceful.
one dong. I don't even think there's a male butt.
That's horrible.
It's disgraceful. It's so uneven. Yeah. Frankly, you know, I don't see what people see in this movie. If there's no dong in it, why even bother?
If you're gonna have nudity and there's no dong, then it's not.
Yeah,
It's not worth it.
It's got to be
Not real
equal.
nudity.
Exactly.
Especially since it's a movie that like very prominently features an orgy, and I don't know how there's no dong in the orgy at all.
I don't know.
It's just naked ladies, and there's like full frontal naked ladies, but no male nudity at all.
Rip off.
Somebody just wanted to see some tits. That's why.
Kubrick did, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't
He's an
know.
old man.
He's an old man. He's
Exactly.
Like,
Proves my point more.
I want to see Nicole Kidman. I would love to see Nicole Kidman naked. If I could
Loved her
just,
in the AMC theater.
I got a dream. I had a vision about something she would do in the future, and I really liked it. Oh, really preserved the theater experience. But yeah, there's a lot of Nicole Kidman being naked, and then there's a lot of like just random female nudity throughout the movie. But yeah, it's like it centers around this like orgy and this like cult that Tom Cruise gets kind of mixed up in.
Seems to do that a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, it's true. It's true to life. Because you know he gets mixed up, and it's basically a rich person cult. So again, true to life.
Seems to do that a lot.
Yeah, very interesting parallels. Just like, you know, the upper crust of New York, they all get together. They all wear like cloaks and masks. They all roll up to this church in the middle of the night, and then like the leaders of this cult all bring in like prostitutes, and they have to wear masks too, but you know, nothing else, of course. And there's not even a male prostitute. It's all female prostitutes.
Come on.
I'm ripped. It's ripped. You know, I can't believe any of this. Frankly, I can't believe there's any like female members of this cult, unless there's a lot of the upper crust of New York are all lesbians, which Wouldn't surprise me based on, you know, all these G-Dang Clorox commercials I keep seeing with all these same-sex couples in them. They're smooching and I can't stand it.
Detergent woke.
They made Mr. Clean a lady.
This is what they took from you.
So it's probably true to life. I guess all the ladies there are also interested in ladies because they are all marketing execs, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I really did not feel this one at all. To me, it was very similar to Clockwork Orange, which is another Kubrick movie that I do not like very much. I get the point of Clockwork Orange, but I don't think that the ends justify the means because there is a lot of SA in that movie, and it is very uncomfortable. I understand that the point is like it's supposed to be shocking, so that like when like the behavior treatment starts, it's like, oh yeah, so they fixed him from not wanting to assault every woman he sees into being scared of women. Oh, it's just, I don't know. It's not very clever in my opinion, which is probably going to get me shot in the streets because that's a lot of people's favorite Kubrick movie. Mine is definitely The Shining. And then I don't know. It's probably Doctor Strangelove after that. I love that movie. It's awesome. It's also like his only comedy, which is weird to say because I don't think he really ventured into the comedy sphere very much. But he did it once because he was scared about nukes and made a comedy about it.
Yeah.
The best scene in Doctor Strangelove is a little bit of a tangent. The whole thing is basically there's a rogue officer in the United States Air Force that goes above the president's head and orders nukes to be dropped on the Soviet Union. Basically, yeah. I think he's pretty much based on that. Goes above their heads and drops a bunch of nukes, and so then like all of the generals are there together in the war room, and there's disagreements on like what's happening, and they all kind of get into a physical altercation, and then the president has to be, gentlemen, please stop. There's no fighting allowed in the war room. That's just a great line. So watch Doctor Strangelove. That's a great movie. All right, let's move on to the next director. It is Marty Scorsese. Marty. I guess, well, technically not true. I was going to say the only director that is still active. I guess Mel Brooks did just make History of the World Part 2. That probably is his last movie, considering he's in his late 90s.
Who knows?
Well, actually, I don't think it's a movie. I think it's a TV show. But I think Mel Brooks is in it. I don't know to what capacity, but I'll say that Martin Scorsese is the only director on this list that is still active, considering he has a movie coming out next month and already has plans on the next one. It's going to be a Jesus movie. I think I don't know if it's going to be like Passion of the Christ. Hopefully not exactly like Passion of the Christ, if you know what I mean. Mel Brooks not Mel Brooks, Mel Gibson.
Yes.
Very, very different people.
The other Mel.
One Mel probably doesn't like the other Mel for obvious reasons.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah. But yeah, Martin Scorsese. I watched two very different movies. One I liked a lot, and one I thought it was good, but it was a Martin Scorsese gangster movie, which I feel like, having said that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We'll talk about Casino first. Casino, I think it came out in the 80s. It is a Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, Martin Scorsese picture where they all play gangsters. So you know exactly what it is. And for an extra 1-2 punch, it is one of Martin Scorsese's rise and fall pictures. I don't know if that is an official category, but I am calling it a type of movie that he makes. I'm talking about Goodfellas, Raging Bull, The Irishman, and now Casino, where it is like, I'm a gangster. I'm an up and start gangster. I'm getting into the business. I'm the king of the business. I'm out of the business. I'm either dead or I'm an old man. That's all four of those movies. They're all, this is what I mean.
Called being Italian.
This is what I mean when I say that every Martin Scorsese movie is the same. Well, not entirely true. These types of movies are exactly the same. Like, I could tell you exactly what the beats of Casino were without actually seeing Casino. That being said, I thought Casino was probably my favorite of his rise and fall movies. It all takes place in Las Vegas. Robert De Niro is basically installed as the I guess leader or boss of a casino in Las Vegas that is a front for the mob. And so it is like, it's not necessarily his like rise into the organization. It is more like his rise in his like Vegas, I guess, job. Cause you know, he runs this casino, and then Joe Pesci also plays the same character in all of these, where he's very angry. He's a hot-headed little guy, and he loves stabbing people. And he's always going over the mobsters' heads. And Robert De Niro's like, hey, stop killing people. I need to lose some heat. And Joe Pesci's like, hey, don't worry about it. I'm Joe Pesci. And then like 2 days later, he's stabbing some guy in the back of his car and leaving him in the desert. And it's just like, that is the dynamic in every single one of these movies. Not that I don't like it. It's just, it is the same thing every single time. Even in Goodfellas, where it's not Robert De Niro in the lead, it's Ray Liotta. Joe Pesci is still that guy. What do you think I am, some kind of clown? That's how Joe Pesci sounds. I would do it better, Joe Pesci, but I'm still kind of congested. But yeah, I thought it was decent. Sharon Stone is in it. I think she won an Oscar, which is, you know, it's funny that people in Martin Scorsese movies win Oscars, but, you know, he rarely does. I think he's maybe won one or two in terms of like best director. I think he won for Shutter Island, which I'll talk about because Shutter Island is phenomenal. I loved Shutter Island. It's going to be hard to talk about this movie because one of the main things that you've probably heard about Shutter Island is that there's a big twist.
Yeah.
And it's right at the end. It is a Sixth Sense style twist. I will say that the twist is not as good as the Sixth Sense twist. I think that is probably a gold standard in terms of end of movie twists, where it completely changes how you see the movie fundamentally, and also it changes how you view the movie in rewatches. Where, you know, you watch that movie and then you're watching Bruce Willis and all the people around him, like, oh, interesting. So it's been a thing this whole time, and it completely opens your eyes to everything. This movie is kind of like that, but also it's not, the twist isn't, it's not going to change how you view the movie going forward, because, I don't know if I want to talk about the twist. I want to, but I also don't want to spoil it. Because it's very, very good. I'll get into the kind of basics of the movie, because it is, I don't know if it's the first Leonardo DiCaprio, Martin Scorsese collab thing, but it's certainly one of the earlier ones. I think it's 2010, Shutter Island came out. They have gone on to be very, very close. Leo's in like a bunch of his movies, like Wolf of Wall Street, or The Departed, or the upcoming Killers of the Flower Moon. I think he might also be in the Jesus movie. I don't know who Leonardo DiCaprio is going to play.
Jesus.
I hope not. Maybe Leonardo DiCaprio could play Pontius Pilate, the Roman judge that orders Jesus to death.
That'd be funny.
That could be interesting. He is Italian,
That's true.
you know, Roman, kind of.
Close enough.
Close enough. I don't know. But yeah, it stars as Leonardo DiCaprio, also Mark Ruffalo, and oh frick, it's the guy who played Gandhi. Why can't I think of this man's name? I want to say Laurence Olivier, and it's definitely not him. No, oh well, it's the guy who played Gandhi. It's I guess it's a period piece from the I think late 40s, post World War II. Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo play U.S. Marshals that have been sent to a mental hospital that is on an island off the coast of Boston. So everyone has these great Boston accents. It's great. It's like Spotlight. And they are sent to this mental hospital because one of the patients has escaped. And even though this island has like a private police force and a bunch of security, she has basically disappeared and no one knows where she is. And so they've sent these two U.S. Marshals to get in and, you know, find the evidence and break out. Or, you know, not break out, but find the lady. And hilarity ensues, as you can probably imagine.
Oh, yes.
And there are many twists and turns. It is a classic neo-noir movie. It is fantastic. I loved it. I want to leave as much, like, I so want to get into all the details and say everything that I loved about this movie, but I also want to make sure that that you guys can go into it with, fresh eyes. If you are intrigued at all by that description, please check it out. Funnily enough, there have been a couple quotes from Scorsese recently about this movie, and it turns out that he hates it. I don't know why.
That's probably why you like it, honestly.
Probably. It probably is. But it's like people will bring it up to him, and he's like, stop talking to me about Shutter Island. Like, and frankly, I don't know why people are talking to him about Shutter Island. He's done so many other things. Talk about Taxi Driver, for Pete's sake. I don't know. Apparently he's the new hot thing. This Travis Bickle guy. Everybody's clamoring for more Travis Bickle content. Who cares about the Shutter Island people? I don't. I will say that the ending is really, really good. So there's like a little bit of breathing room in between the twist and the end of the movie. I would say there's probably a good 10, 15 minutes maybe. So the twist happens, and then there's like this very long flashback where like a bunch of details are revealed, and then it's just like an end, and then it's an ambiguous ending, which is very, very cool. I really, really loved the ending because it kind of raises a lot of questions. I'm trying so hard to get into it while also being vague. It's very difficult, but yeah, it is phenomenal. I would say easily probably my favorite Scorsese movie that I have seen. Yeah, I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen Taxi Driver, but that one was my favorite for a long time. Although The Departed is also really, really good. I'm kind of pumped for his new movie. A lot of people have been saying that it's Leo's best acting work ever, which honestly I find pretty hard to believe because Leo is one of those people that I feel like he like gives it his all in every single role. It's pretty hard to find a Leo performance like post 2000 probably where he isn't giving it like 110%. unless when did that Blood Diamond movie came out and he was doing a Somali accent? We can get rid of that one. But we can
Like a very
highlight.
90s thing.
I think it was the 90s. It might have been the 2000s though.
That's my favorite in Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, well, who could forget his role in Romeo and Juliet with guns?
With guns.
Okay, I regret to inform everybody that Blood Diamond came out in 2006.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, so it takes place in Sierra Leone, and Leonardo DiCaprio's character is a South African mercenary. And so he's doing,
That accent's already messed up then.
yeah, from what I've seen, it's not very good in terms of like his accent. Like it's not consistent.
South African accents are really strange in general. So
Yeah.
I understand him there.
Yeah. Yeah. I would just like, if you have not seen a clip of Leo and Blood Diamond, I would recommend it just to see, oh, this is what Leo used to be like. I guess for Zoomers. If Zoomers are like, oh, that's Leo, he's the guy from The Revenant, or that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood picture.
Or the funny meme where from Django where he's holding the white monster.
I haven't seen all the White Monster. Did you know that he really cut his hand during that scene and he refused to stop acting until until Tarantino called cut?
He wouldn't stop saying the N-word even after because he was so enthralled with the character.
It's crazy. You know, he was so in character. He was just calling Samuel Jackson all sorts of names.
It was crazy.
What? I think, I don't know if this is like one of those film facts that everybody knows, but going into like the Leo saying the N-word in that movie, I don't know if you have heard this story. I know Jamie Foxx loves telling it. Yeah. I'm going to briefly say it. I know a bunch of people have probably already heard this. But yeah, Leo on the set of Django Unchained, he plays a slave holding like plantation owner. And so he says the N-word a lot. And when they first started shooting, Leo like came to Jamie Foxx and was like, hey, I'm really uncomfortable saying this word. Like, I just want to make sure that everything's okay. You know, trying to like get out in front of it and like say, you know, I guess cover his ass is more fitting. Like, hey, I'm not a racist. But yeah, it really kind of wrecked him, and he was uncomfortable acting. And then like Sam Jackson was just like, just do your job, basically. Like, we don't care.
The correct response.
Yeah, the correct response. I mean, like, they're there to do a job.
Oh, I feel so bad.
It's like, yeah, it's just like, if you have anyone to talk to, you know,
Tarantino.
yeah,
He does
yeah.
this in every single movie.
Leo shouldn't be the one that feels
That man's got
bad.
an issue.
Tarantino writes it in all of his movies for some reason. I don't know. But yeah, so I will probably be seeing the new Leo movie, the new Leo and Scorsese picture, Killers of the Flower Moon. I think it's coming out pretty soon, a couple weeks or so. So it's going to be good. I mean, there's two movies I'm excited for coming up. It's that one and the what is it called? That one might be called like The Killer or something. It's David Fincher's new movie with Michael Fassbender. Man,
Oh, yeah. I think The Killer.
David Fincher, man, he could have made this list. He is easily one of my favorite directors. I am so pumped that he's back to making movies. Like, he said he was done. He made like that Mindhunter show on Netflix. And then I think he's been like making comics or graphic novels or something. But now he's back. I'm so excited. I don't know anything about it, and I'm going to keep it that way. I know that he's not going to disappoint. He is such a perfectionist that I don't think he could make a bad movie, even if he wanted to. But also, I would not want to be on set with him because apparently it takes him like 100 takes to get one shot. For those who don't know, that is an obscene amount of takes to do one shot. Most will do like maybe I would say 3 is probably a good number. You do 1 to like kind of rehearse it, 2 to kind of like get it set in stone, and then 3 to for safety. You never really do 100 takes of anything, but I think David Fincher's kind of known for that because he'll like, oh, that one thing in the corner was wrong. We have to run it back and do the whole thing again. So yeah, I would not want to work with David Fincher. And you know, David Fincher does not have a lot of repeat people in his movies. He does not work with the same people over and over again, and I suspect that's probably why. But yeah, that is that. I think I kind of already talked about the Mel Brooks movies. They probably are the ones I have the least amount to say. Young Frankenstein I was really looking forward to because I have a lot of respect for Gene Wilder. I think his performance as Willy Wonka in the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it's one of the best comedic performances of all time. Easily. The way that he is able to kind of like be at the same time like kind of evil and sinister while also being like heartwarming and sympathetic to like, and he's so mysterious. You never really know what Willy Wonka is thinking at any time. And like, did he have all this planned out? Like, was this room specifically to like knock this kid off? Like, what is happening? And like every single line he delivers, there's like layers to it where it's like, okay, what is going on right now? And he's just such a quirky guy, which is why I saw the trailer for the new Wonka movie with Timothy Chalamet in the role. That's not it. That's not, I mean,
Not it.
it's hard to, do that. I think Gene Wilder is such a unique kind of actor, specifically like in his comedic roles, especially that movie. It's kind of hard to like, okay, I'm going to do that too, which I feel like Johnny Depp saw that and was like, I'm going to do something completely different. And I'm going to be like a game show host. I'm going to be like a children's show on like a public access TV. That's kind of what I'm going to do, which I feel like is pretty one-dimensional. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of Johnny Depp in that role. But I don't know.
Great in Rango.
He is great in Rango. I love Rango.
Rango is so good.
It's a good movie. So yeah, I don't think Timothy Chalamet... I like Timothy Chalamet as an actor. I don't think he has what it takes to play Willy Wonka. He's just not the right person to cast. I don't know who you cast. Frankly, you don't make the movie. But I don't know. So I was excited to see Young Frankenstein because Gene Wilder is in it. And I don't think he disappoints. It's certainly not a Wonka level performance, but also that's not what they're going for at all. He's playing like, I think it's basically like Gene Wilder's character is the grandson of the original Victor Frankenstein from the old movie. And he's embarrassed by that legacy. He wants to be taken seriously. He changed his name, granted not by very much, to Dr. Frankenstein. Which, I mean, if you're trying to separate yourself from your family legacy, like, that is not the way to do it. Like, if, like, Hitler had, like, brothers and sisters that didn't want to be associated with Hitler after he offed himself, and they're like, our names, they're the same. Everyone's going to know. I'm going to change my name to Hotler. No one will suspect a thing. Which is basically what this guy does in Young Frankenstein. But basically he ends up like retreading over his grandfather's footsteps anyway. But it's a good movie. There's not a whole lot to say. I feel like it's kind of hard to talk about comedies in general in a review format because it ends up devolving into, oh, this bit is funny. And then this bit is funny. It's kind of hard to talk about that.
Comedic timing of this punchline.
Especially when we're talking about Mel Brooks, who's maybe one of the best comedic writers of all time. It's pretty hard to like break down scenes and stuff. I will say that everybody's giving like really, really good performances. The person who's playing like Frankenstein's monster is fantastic. There's a scene where they do a musical number, but like the brain that is in Frankenstein's monster is defective, so he can't really sing very well. So they they basically just give him the role going, "Ah," and he just does that whenever the young Frankenstein points to him, and it's pretty funny. It's kind of hard to you know explain it in an audio format, but check it out. Pretty good. Spaceballs is also pretty good. Don't really have a whole lot to say about it because it's a classic.
Very true.
I think it's easily, I mean, it's my favorite Mel Brooks movie. Some of that is probably nostalgia. I watched it all the time as a kid, being the big Star Wars fan I was. One of the very few kind of like crass, vulgar movies that my parents let me watch younger. Although it was like an edited version that had all those scenes cut out, but still like there's some humor that got through that. But yeah, I love that movie. And the more I watch it, the more I'm like, man, this is like smart. Like the jokes in it are goofy and kind of stupid, but like there's a lot of stuff in it that's like, okay, that's actually really good. That's well set up. Yeah. So check out those movies. And then to kind of separate, do something a little bit different, I watched one more movie, not related to any director or anything. I wasn't going to talk about it, but I loved it so much, and it does kind of tie in because they're doing a remake of it. I watched the original The Toxic Avenger from Troma Studios, which we have not talked about on this podcast. I don't know if you guys know what Troma is.
Nope.
It was a B-movie studio in the 80s and 90s. I think technically they're still around to a way more limited capacity. They made intentionally like shocking, edgy humor. For reference, James Gunn started getting into the business at Troma. One of James Gunn's first writing credits is for a movie called Tromeo and Juliet, because of course it is. And so like when people were like canceling James Gunn in like the late 2010 or mid to late 2010s, it was stuff from the Troma era, where it is like the jokes are intentionally shocking and intentionally, I guess, against the grain, which I think generally I have kind of criticized shows like South Park or stuff similar to that of just being kind of lazy and going for the cheap shots. It's not necessarily funny to be offensive for offensive's sake. As someone who does on occasion make offensive jokes, I think it's important when you make an offensive joke, the joke should never be on the the thing that you are making fun of, like the victim of that, or like, whatever. The joke should be on yourself. So like when I make an offensive joke, I'm making fun of like the people who would think like that. Like when I was making jokes earlier about the Clorox, two ladies in a Clorox ad or something. The joke is not that there are two ladies in the Clorox ad. It is that people are actually mad about that for some reason. And I think Troma does they kind of have their feet in both, where they do just have stuff offensive for offensive sake, but also it's also kind of like, I don't want to say like brilliant or genius or anything, but it works like really, really well, especially in this movie. I'm not going to overgeneralize Troma because they made a lot of garbage. But this movie, I think, is probably their biggest movie. It is, I guess, a superhero movie, if you want to call it that. Basically, there's this nerd who works in a gym, kind of community center at Tromaville, which is the nation's number one toxic waste dump. And he's a he's a nerd. He's kind of pervy. He likes creeping on all the ladies while they're working out or going swimming or whatever. And so then all the people at the community center are like, this guy's such a nerd. We're gonna get him so good. We're gonna prank him. And so then, like, one of the ladies is like, hey, I want to have sex with you. You should come down to the pool, and it's going to be really hot and sexy. But I want you to wear this pink leotard and tutu. And he's like, okay, I will do that because I want to get laid. And so then he goes down to the pool, and, oh, no, it's an embarrassing. Everybody is there, and they're making fun of him for wearing a pink leotard and a tutu. He should have known, but he was stupid. And so he runs away and he jumps out the window. But little did we know that before, or little did he know, that before he jumped out the window, wouldn't you know it, a couple of truck drivers carrying open barrels of toxic waste just so happened to park in front of the community center so that they can do some cocaine, because nice. The passenger guy got a good deal, and so he's like, oh, well, we got to do it right now. I'm tired. Let's go take a break at a rest stop. No. We can just park right here. I got the good stuff. Ooh, cocaine? That's what I like to do in my free time. So they park right in front of the community center, and then the nerd does a funny slip out of the window and right into a barrel of toxic waste. Wah, wah.
Classic. Wah, wah.
It's a classic. I think that's how Daredevil got his powers too. Seen it 1,000 times. But the funny thing is that, he gets out of the barrel and like his skin is like melting off and like, it's like acid. And then all of the people that were making fun of him, they all come out, and instead of being like horrified, they like still think it's the funniest thing they've ever seen. And then it probably makes them laugh even harder, honestly, that this guy is melting alive. And so, eventually he he runs off into a field somewhere, and then there's a body double that takes over that's swole, and he's ripped, and he has a deeper voice now. And he has an innate instinct to kill evildoers. And I guess, this movie is actually kind of groundbreaking because it gets into, what is evil? It's a philosophical question that has racked philosophers' brains for centuries. It's like, where is evil? What is evil? What is the nature of evil? And this movie really gets into the heart of it. And, where it lands is, if you are going to kill someone or if you are going to assault a woman, then that is evil. And frankly, that is a definition that I can get behind. Except the first person that he saves is a police officer. And frankly, you probably should have killed the police officer, because that is more evil than killing a cop. I would say. I'll put that on the record on this podcast. And it is funny because the mayor and everybody, they're like, oh no, this guy's bad for business, because the mayor is like the most openly corrupt guy in the whole world. Like, his office just has like strippers just pole dancing the entire time, and like people are doing coke, and he's just like, I'm a squeaky clean mayor, but Actually, he's like a big Coke distributor. And so it's a big movie where, the Toxic Avenger, everybody calls them the monster, and there's just a bunch of fun action, like actually pretty good like prosthetics and like gut blood and gore effects. There's a scene where the monster goes into the workout area and wants to get revenge on the evil people that disfigured him. And there's like those like or not bicep, those like bench press machines that like they have like a little pole that like the weights are attached to, and then like you lift it up and down, and then there's like that pole and it kind of has a spike on it. You can guess where this is going. He like lifts the bar thing all the way up and he puts a bunch of weight on it, and then he like sticks the guy right under the weights, and then he just drops the bench press thing and it just crushes his head on this spiky pole thing that the weights are attached to. That's probably the best kill in the movie, and they know it is because it plays over the ending credits. So they knew what they had was gold. But that honestly, there's a lot of really good kills in this movie. So yeah, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. I knew Troma's reputation, and I was a little bit hesitant going in, which is why I wasn't planning on talking about it really. I just needed a break because I think I watched like Shutter Island and Eyes Wide Shut back to back, and I'm like, too heady for me. Let's watch something stupid. So I did, and now we're here. I would recommend The Toxic Avenger. I think it's on Amazon Prime. I don't remember how I watched it, or it's on Freevee. It's on one of those free things. I think I watched ads in the middle of it.
It's a freebie.
Yeah, which is owned by Amazon. I don't know why it's a separate app, but it is. So there you go. Those are all the movies I watched. A little bit about all of them. I would say my most favorite was probably Shutter Island, and my least favorite was Eyes Wide Shut. I feel like that's the wrong opinion, but it's the one that I have, so whatever. I guess that does imply that I think that The Toxic Avenger is better than a Kubrick movie, which is probably objectively false, but that's okay. I'm willing to put my life on the line for this podcast. So there you go.
I'm not.
Oh, okay. You wouldn't say anything as brave or daring as I just did?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, I think that's it for my segment. We'll, pass it on over to Babby for music time.
Webster.
We have quite a bit. I think I'm gonna go in chronological order since we missed a week.
Yeah.
We'll start with good old Sufjan Stevens. Because I don't think I talked about this one last time.
No, not the second song.
Yes. Will Anybody Ever Love Me is the track title. I don't know. He's the songs on this new album are, kind of questionable.
Oh, really?
It's like, will anybody ever love me? And then So You Are Tired.
Oh,
Like, oh my God.
that's true. Yeah, it's very sad.
I will say,
titles.
Sufjan is in a wheelchair currently.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes. He also uses Tumblr for everything. It's really strange. He's like stuck in his 2012 Tumblr era. But apparently he has like some illness or something that he didn't know about. But they caught it quick, so hopefully he recovers quick.
Yeah, it's treatable. So,
yes.
yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, but that was a fun fact about this song, I suppose. But this one's really good. I like this. I don't know if, both the singles are really good, honestly.
See, I haven't listened to the second one. I saw that it came out, and I'm like, I'm going to go into it fresh when we do our reaction. So
It's really great.
it's great. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's same kind of, not exact same structure as the first single, but in the same realm. Which is to say, it's really great. I think he's just, again, building upon his older acoustic type style records and just using that to make it. I don't know. It feels fresh, even though it feels very similar to something like Illinois, kind of mixed with Carrie and Lowell, kind of mixed with the Angelo DeAugustine collab record, which is to say, it's fantastic. So I'm excited for this. It's almost here, I think, next Friday. Yeah, next
Yeah.
Friday.
Yep.
So we'll be having that one soon. But yeah, very good. I think there's like 8 tracks on the album, so hopefully I didn't spoil too much of it for listening to 2 songs off of it. But I don't care. I'm not waiting. If I see new Sufjan, I'm gonna listen to it.
See, I want to, but I'm like, it's just a couple weeks. I could wait.
Yeah.
But I do really, I love So You Are Tired.
Yes,
So.
that one's really good. So, yeah, look out for a reaction for that because we're doing that. Obviously, we'd be messing up if we didn't do a Sufjan reaction.
This is true.
Yeah. Next, we got new Earl Sweatshirt and Alchemist song. They officially announced that the album will be coming to streaming. I believe that's also on the 6th. Or it's the 13th. One of the two. It's early October. This is the one that they put on this NFT service website that I said I wasn't going to listen to. And I didn't. So I'm glad it's coming to streaming. Track list is a little different. They swapped out a couple of tracks. I'm guessing that's because of sampling clearance reasons, which is fine because I think we get 2 Vince Staples features instead of 1. So that's good. But this one that they released is the Caliphate. I don't know how to say what that is or what it is. But featuring Vince Staples, it's so good. It's exactly how you think it would sound when it's Earl Sweatshirt, Alchemist, and Vince Staples. And that is not a diss against the song. It's exactly what you want it to sound like. I like that Vince has been doing very slow flows for a while now. He seems to go back to that. He did that early in his career, and it's just really, really, really good. He's got really good delivery. So definitely looking forward to that album finally coming out. Very weird release rollout for that thing. But I'm glad they're at least putting it on Spotify now instead of doing the thing where it's like, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. I don't like that.
Yeah. Stop doing NFT music things, please. I get that it's rough out here with streaming, pay cuts and stuff, or not pay cuts. You don't get a lot for streaming.
Yeah.
But there are other ways to go about that, in my opinion, instead of doing the stupid NFT stuff. Because then people are like, I don't want to do that. Except for this like very minute, weird part of the population that has NFT profile pictures still. So, and often your crossover audience is not in the hip hop scene, so
Well, true.
a little strange. I guess we'll skip to other singles before I do albums. Snail Mail released a demo from Valentine. Because that record
is that what that was?
Yeah, I think it was its 2-year anniversary. Really good record. It's okay. It's good. I mean, it's not anything. It's not better than anything on Valentine, or any of her other records that I've heard. But I mean, it's decent. I am looking forward to something new from her though, because I feel like it's been a while. Definitely have been getting Lush back in the rotation though, because it's just good, and I forgot about it. And sometimes once you go back to it, it's like, ooh,
Lush is
I forgot how good this
fantastic.
is. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully she comes out with something new soon. I know she had surgery after Valentine for like something with her vocal cords. So that's probably why there hasn't been a whole lot from her. But hopefully next year, I would hope. It's been a while, but after that we got a new Chelsea Wolfe single. This is building up to a new album, I believe. I don't know what the album is because I did not do much research or anything, but the song's out and it sounds really, really, really great. Definitely has more of a chamber pop feel. I would describe it as emo Wise Blood, which is kind of already how I describe her music, but this one especially. It does have, a big build at the end with like really great guitars, and it's still pretty heavy, but it's definitely a lot more floaty than her music usually is. But very, very excited for this. Hopefully this album comes sooner rather than later. I feel like we're gonna hit the thing again where all the albums I want to listen to are going to come out within 2 weeks, and then it's going to be nothing for the rest of the year. So I'm hoping it paces out a little bit. But this one's really good. I haven't really gone back to a lot of her stuff, but this one is like, I kind of like the direction she's going. I think Mitski's doing the same thing too, where it's more chamber poppy. We'll be doing a reaction to that one, so that'll be out next week. So, all the Mitski fans, I forgot about it, but I'm making up for it because it's been getting pretty good reviews, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that one. My boy Drizzy Drake, October's very own Aubrey Graham, Jimmy Brooks from the Degrassi, that guy. He released a single with SZA, titled "Slime You Out."
Oh yeah.
Yes. It's not horrible actually. I think it's decent. SZA does kind of wash him though.
Well, yeah. This is great.
Yeah, but it's kind of a pretty decent R&B cut. Drake says some weird things on this song, though. It's like a slow
Really?
R&B song. Yeah, it's like a slower R&B song. And there's a line in here that says, "Whipped and chained you like American slaves," in like the first verse. And I'm like, that's just not a good line. Especially when you're trying to do this like sensual R&B song like that. That just sounded weird.
Also, he's Canadian.
And he's Canadian. And
Just
he's
another
in
weird
general.
layer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another line in here that was really weird. Or not weird, but just like it's such a Drake line. Oh yeah, he's doing this thing where he goes through like every single month and has like a quippy little thing to say. He gets to July and he says, "July, that's when I found out that you lied."
I hate Drake so
Wow.
much.
Yeah. I think he recently made a book with like Instagram captions in it or something. That's the kind of stuff that I would, think that's in there. Yeah. It's just weird. But that being said, the sound of the song isn't horrible. Will I ever listen to it again? Maybe if it comes on. But I don't know. The kind of Drake I like is not R&B Drake. It's like 0 to 100 Drake. Like I want Drake where he's just being arrogant and having fun. But I don't know. That's just me. I'm not the biggest Drake guy in the world. Even though he is a great friend of the podcast. Not a huge fan.
What do you mean, great friend of the podcast?
We talk about him a lot. He's a friend of the show.
Well, that's true. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, SZA did pretty good, so there's that at least. I think the record got delayed too, so I think that's coming out the 6th. So I think it was supposed to come out last Friday,
What?
but apparently he moved it because of I think he's on tour right now or something. I don't know. I originally thought he was dodging Doja Cat, and then Doja Cat's album did like 50K first week, and that was not at all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it didn't do well.
Why?
Doja Cat's been doing this thing where she like purposely like frustrated her online fan base because she's been like so tired of like how fan bases act, especially on Twitter and things, which respect.
Yeah.
But she's been being like ultra edgy, like on purpose. So she kind of did it to herself, which I mean, I don't really care. If you make the music you want to make, go for it.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not gonna listen to it, but go for it. I don't listen to Doja Cat ever. I don't think I've heard like 2 Doja Cat songs and a couple of features. I think.
Yeah, I know we're mostly from features.
Yeah, which I mean, she's decent, but it's like whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that. And then we got a new Arm & Hammer single today, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. What else do we have? So I listened to 2 records this week. This is kind of like not calm before the storm, but like a handful of pretty good records before like the bombs start dropping. So I'll start with the new Fielded record. Fielded is a Backwoods Studios artist. They collabed with Billy Woods quite a bit, especially like Terror Management. But their new album is, what is this thing called? Plus One. Executive produced by Billy Woods, and the great thing is there is a ton of features on this thing. They're mostly like an R&B singer. I don't know what the genre would be like technically considered. I feel like it's like R&B mixed with like underground abstract hip hop a little bit. Um, but that being said, it's pretty good. I enjoy it quite a bit. There's a lot of variety on here. Um, I mean, you have the Billy Woods tracks that's kind of open and close the record. That's really cool. But there's some more kind of funky stuff in there. There's some really kind of they have just like a really good mysterious vibe throughout the record, which is something they also bring to features. But especially something like The Way It Is with Pink Navel, you got the Kenny Segal on the beat. It's awesome. Um, all of the producers on here are fantastic. Pretty much almost one to one the exact crew that's going to be on the Arm and Hammer record next week. So we got a lot of like Elucid did a couple of beats on here. We had Kenny Segal, Child Actor, DJ Haram. All of the Backwoods Studios camp kind of shows up here. Um, and it's just a really cool record that you don't really hear a lot of because it is such a weird thing with more R&B stylings of vocals mixed with more like drumless weirdo hip hop beats that people like Navy Blue and stuff would usually rap on. So it's a really cool vibe. It's like R&B, but not too R&B. It's a very nice kind of background or driving record. So that was pretty great. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Definitely need to listen to it more to pick out favorite tracks and stuff. It's kind of like a listen to it once, add it to a playlist, and then they'll randomly come up when I shuffle it kind of thing.
Sure.
But yeah, pretty good. Next we got an artist I have not listened to at all yet. I feel like I was aware of her, but I wasn't like I'd never listened to anything yet. This is I don't even know how to say the name. I think it's like Yule. It's Yeule. Yule maybe. Yule sounds like a name.
It does.
We'll go with that. But this album is Soft Scars. I only checked this out because one, it was getting pretty crazy reviews, but it has the genres are dream pop, glitch pop, shoegaze, and noise pop. So I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And that is definitely what it is. It is definitely like anime coded. This is Zoomer TikTok anime coded, but you have like classic shoegaze elements in it. It's pretty good. It's also kind of emo in a way. It's really cool. It's definitely like futuristic. This album sounds like cyberpunk, which is cool. Where it has kind of this edgy, like weirdo dystopian future kind of vibe to it, without being too disconnected and like out of pocket when it comes to that kind of stuff. But it's pretty great. I like the mix of this kind of noise and dream pop aspects, and a lot of glitch, and then you have shoegaze guitars and you have some acoustic in there. There's a really nice little piano ballad in the middle of this thing. Yeah, it's definitely like not something I connect with because like it is kind of anime inspired and kind of like J-pop, kind of like there's this one band that's J-pop that is like really aggressive. That's I can't think the name of them, but it's that edgy J-pop kind of feeling. So it's good. It's just like it's not something I've been exposed to at all. But yeah, really, really, really good. I love the noise in it. The pacing is really great as well. I definitely need to like keep listening to it because I can't really pick out a lot of the tracks because it does flow so well as an album. I was like losing track of when the songs switched and everything. But very big surprise. I love when these kind of things come out because it like comes out of nowhere. I was not expecting it. I didn't know this artist, and then all of a sudden it's like boom. Okay, this is really interesting. So I know they did. They had an album last year that people were talking about a lot too. I just didn't get to it. But I'm thinking they just put like shoegaze into their a little bit of the new album, and they haven't really done that before. So any new album that has shoegaze listed, I'm probably gonna listen to because like it's kind of on a little bit of a resurgence, and it's interesting to see how people put it into like new styles of music. But pretty G dang good. I'll I'll have to listen to it more and see where it falls because we're getting close to the end of the year,
The end is near.
and we'll do
It's
a year
true.
end list at some point. How many we're gonna do, I don't know. Last year we did 10. That was still a long recording, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I also feel
but
like this has been a pretty slow year in
it
general.
has been. I mean, there's like a couple of really like awesome albums that came out, but the
Yeah.
quantity is just not nearly like what it has been the past 3 years for me.
Yeah.
I haven't been like actively seeking out music as much as I have been. I've been pretty comfortable with this with the lane I've been in. But I mean, and I've just not been as bored.
Sure.
So it's like, but yeah. There's also a new Underscores record out. I do want to listen to that one. I just did not have the chance to listen to it this week. But I definitely want to check that out because Fishmonger was pretty awesome. Bab Jab Core to the max. Kinko's Field Trip 2006 is still a banger. And the Fish song is fantastic. So I can never forget the Fish song.
I can't remember which one I like from that.
I think it's the Fish song.
Is it the Fish song?
Yeah. It's the album with the funny water tower with the smiley face on
Oh,
it.
yes. I remember Bab Jab loves this album.
Yes. So new one's Wall Socket. Great name. You have Fishmonger and then Wall Socket. That's a great discography.
It is.
But this is getting pretty great reviews as well. So definitely want to check this one out. And this one's an hour long too. I think Fishmonger's like, yeah, it's 33 minutes. So I will check that out for next week if I have the time and or I remember. There's
That's
also a
no
new
problem.
Alchemist album out, which I mean he doesn't stop working to the point where it's like, okay, give me a break. I need to like catch up a little bit. But this one is with Mike and Wiki. I have not listened to this one yet either, but I will plan on doing that this weekend as well because it's like 20 minutes. So
Oh.
yeah, but I'm sure that's good. I mean, it's Alchemist and Mike's pretty good. I enjoy Mike. It's what a good rapper name, just all caps Mike. Mike.
Mike. Not even Big
Stands
Mike.
out. Not even Big Mike. Not even Killer Mike. Just Mike. I guess all the pseudonyms for Mike were taken. Or
That's true.
You just gotta like roll with it. But yeah, I'll check that out as well. And then I'm gonna be getting the Earl Sweatshirt and Alchemist album after that. It's crazy. There's gonna be too much Alchemist. Not really, but you know,
Too much.
too much.
Way too much.
And then I think the last thing I listened to was this new Arm & Hammer single today. This was one where it's like, okay, the album's out Friday. Do I wait? But then I saw it was the one that was produced by LP, and I'm like, I'm not waiting. I can't do that to myself. Yeah. This one's The Gods Must Be Crazy, and this is probably my favorite single out of the three now. This thing is ridiculous. LP is just a different animal. And these two do so well with an LP beat. I'm surprised there hasn't been more collaborations yet. I'm also enjoying that LP's doing a lot of stuff on his own right now because I do not like Killer Mike and I can't listen to Run the Jewels anymore because it just feels really weird. I can't listen to things about Killer Mike talking about kill your masters and then he has a bank and says a lot of weird stuff and
Yeah.
rallies for Republican candidate. He's really strange. But LP is killing it recently on his kind of like solo features and production credits and stuff. And this beat is 100% LP. There's something about his beats that are just like nobody else on earth could make these. It's very digital, but it's also very like classic New York drum machiney. It's just a great combo. But man, they go back and forth on this song so much. It's like in your face constantly from start to finish. Great lines all over the place in here. And what I love about Arm & Hammer Records is like, I don't like Elucid solo records as much, but like he keeps pace and beats Billy Woods on a couple of songs, which is incredibly difficult to do. These two like have insane chemistry to the point where like you can bring that out from each other, which is like the number one thing you need to do in a duo. It's like Black Star has that.
Yeah.
Not many others have that. Outcast has that. That's
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, those are the top two. But I mean, these guys are definitely climbing up there. Because they just don't miss. I've been getting waterboarded by Billy Woods all year because like I feel like I talk about it every week because every single week he has a feature. He had two on the Fielded record that I just talked about. Now this one's here, and then the whole album's coming out on Friday. But I mean, he doesn't miss. I don't know how many verses he has lined up and ready to go because these things are intricate. They're funny. They're off the wall. It just never stops. There's lines about here about like Live Aid 90 or Live Aid 85. It's just really, there's a lot of humor in this. This record's probably going to be like, I don't know. It's grouping up to be a kind of Paraffins record part 2, which is great because Paraffins was the one that kind of got them popular. It's aggressive. It's in your face. It's weird. There's so much happening that it's like hard to take in. And from the 3 singles, this is even more kind of off the wall than that one was because you got Peggy on production on one and you got LP on production on this one. And then the other one by DJ Haram is like very noisy. Yeah, I'm loving the direction they're going with this. It's going to be so good. But yeah, I'm so ready for this. I'll have a full review of that next week. I might be able to combine my segments again for that. So depending on what they give me here, but from the 3 singles I have a decent amount already. So we'll see, but very good. This one is definitely my favorite single out of the 3 and probably one of the best rap songs all year. I could still be in the honeymoon phase of this thing, but like it's just like you can't give me an LP beat with these two on it like when they're both pretty much in their prime at this moment. That's like an underground hip hop like match made in heaven right there. But yeah, I would have wished for LP to have a verse on this song. That would have made it like even crazier. It's strange because Elucid kind of goes into an LP style flow in part of it, and I was like, whoa, this is strange. I don't know if it's because of the beat he made, and it's like that's the natural pocket you want to fit in, or if that's just like a coincidence. But that was really cool. Billy Woods went into almost a Killer Mike-esque flow on the last verse, which was really cool. So I don't know. These two are better than Run the Jewels at this point, but like, man, I am so ready for this. So yeah, full review next week. I'm very excited for that. But other than that, I think for the most part, this thing happened. MG&T released, or they didn't release anything, but they said that they have an album that they're planning to release in 2023.
What?
And we have a name of it, Loss of Life. That's all we know. So.
Oh boy.
But there is an album.
I love Little Dark Age.
Finally. Yeah, 2018 was the last one they released, and that was Little Dark Age. So
It's about time.
it is definitely time. Oh yeah, Sampha also said that October 20th is the album release date for that one. I don't think we had a release date last time I talked about it. So there you go. There's another AJR showing up in here. AJR album, November 3rd. I will be there. It's going to be good.
You will?
No. No. I'm glad that we're not a music reaction channel that we suffer constantly. We do it every once in a while, but
It's been a hot minute since we've
Yeah, it
done
has been a hot
something
minute.
like I think the last one was Doug Walker.
Doug Walker, yeah.
Other than that, I feel like
Yeah.
we don't. Well, I haven't gotten a yikes in a while.
You haven't gotten a yikes, yeah.
That's the thing. Then I think when we get a yikes or when I get a yikes, I'm going to do Joe Hawley. Just 'cause
boy.
everybody's
People are gonna
been
hate
asking.
me for that.
I know. I don't think I'm going to like it
Actually-
either.
No, but yeah, I'm gonna dig into that thing. So it'll be fun.
It will be
It'll
fun.
be a fun little
People are going to regret asking for that one.
Yeah, they really are.
I still see that is our like best performing
That's
video.
because everybody likes the Miracle musical video we did.
Well, I
It was
know.
weird because I was like very not positive about that record, but
But people still flock to it.
people still liked it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I guess the only other thing related to music is Dissect has a new season,
Oh.
and they're doing In Rainbows by
Oh, they're
Radiohead.
finally doing Radiohead, huh?
Yeah. This is the first non-hip hop album I think they've done.
Yeah.
Depending on if you consider Beyonce's Lemonade to be hip hop or not, I feel like it's pretty close to that line.
Is Frank Ocean hip hop?
No, I guess that'd be R&B. First rock album.
There we go. Well, that's definitively true.
Yeah. So I'll be interested. I'll listen to that probably eventually as it rolls out. Yeah, I don't know how much. It'll probably be similar to Blonde, where it's like more about the musicality and that
Sure.
kind of thing, which is fun. I do like that stuff because that's something I genuinely don't know anything about. So that'll
Yeah.
probably be pretty fun. But yeah, I think that's it. And my other segment was the first thing in the podcast.
Yeah,
mixed
we
it up
already did it.
unintentionally.
How convenient.
Yeah, and next week I'll probably combine my segments, hopefully. So,
Well, there we go. Nice.
oh, and Boy Genius EP.
Oh, I saw that. The Rest.
Yes, that comes out October 13th. There's 4 new songs on it, so
There we go.
we will be streaming as the Twitter stands. So
We probably won't react to it.
no,
Although we did react to their first EP, but
we did
4
but, like,
songs is
yeah,
yeah.
they're calling it The Rest, so it's not like it has a huge impact. At least the way that you don't call your EP The Rest if you want it to like stand alone.
True. Yeah. Well, it goes with the the record and the
it does.
rest. Yeah.
The couple of songs that weren't good enough to make the main record, but are good enough to put out by themselves.
Well, that sounds good. I mean,
Yeah,
can't go wrong with more Boy Genius.
exactly.
All right. Well, then I guess that's this week's episode.
Really?
I think so.
Wow.
Thanks for watching or listening. I don't know what's going to be going on next week. I don't think I have anything specifically planned.
The incident.
The incident.
Yeah, the incident's gonna happen next week, guys.
Major
Get ready.
global event.
I'm going to get canceled. I'm going to say something truly outrageous. Like that Eyes Wide Shut's not very good. But
You're done, bud.
Yeah, that's fine.
Draft your apology now.
Yeah.
I'll be steering the ship for a while.
All right. Well, I need to pick up a
I'll
ukulele.
take some time off. Yeah, get a ukulele.
Do a cover of my favorite song.
Go on USA Today or wherever those people go.
USA Today.
Piers Morgan.
I was wrongfully accused. I mean, you'll cut that out.
Please edit that out.
Please edit that out. Don't take that out of context. Yeah. Bye.